P&L is a little bit down. Not down. Down $500. You know, I went heavy in this trade here. And I was in the midst of setting up the stream, so I didn't want to, like, get distracted. But this trade is not working out. So
Order filled.
Dumbass trade. You can see kind of where I entered everything. Need to just be playing the extremes. And it's trying to move up, but at the same time, it's following momentum the way it should. So, like, you know, I shared in Discord. Today is probably one of the hardest days to trade. That's actually been that we've seen for a while. What does it say? Friday. Futures Monday afternoon. Okay, never mind. So it's been one of the harder days to trade, and I'll share why here. Mainly because the main reason is that on most trades, you're a little forgiven, or you could be forgiven a little for possibly chasing trades. Today was not forgiving at all as far as chasing trades, meaning if you didn't use the predictive nature of the system, you're kind of hosing yourself. So, okay, which one? That's trading view. So it's kind of been one of the challenges today. Still, though, system performed as you know. Once again, you gotta recognize wasn't a good GC trade, but that actually, well, now actually the GC trade looks like we probably should short that move. So let's look at the chart, make sure that we're on deck with that move there. So chart 4 is at the problem is, you know, it's at, I guess we do the momentum check on chart 3. That's kind of, we scale up to that. So
order filled.
We're in a GC trade. Kind of moved right when we entered, which is not bad. Don't mind when that happens. So short on GC, chart 3 is the control. Chart 3 is the control. I mean, it's a momentum check. Trade Room Alpha, I'll share. But also, where are we at? We're at a couple different areas on at least chart 4 as well. Trade Room Alpha. Trade Room Alpha. So yeah, today's a hard day to trade. Although, you know, we did have someone in the general say that they're having a great day, actually, which is pretty fire. Tolman, having a good day. You know why? I mean, I don't know why, but I would assume you're using the predictive nature of the system. Because that's the only way to trade today. You've got to trade the system as the predictive nature. So the next trade that exists on the NQ is really kind of the level check right around 1 deuce deuce 1 2 2. That's kind of the next best trade on the table. So that's the trade you take. Downside is roughly 0.75. That's the downside. Oh, there we go. Hello. Oh, you're from France. Sweet. Would be looking for a fade on the NQ make sense here? I feel like the short has been exhausted. Not this very moment, because after confirmation. Hey, welcome, Bob. You know, I really enjoy France. I didn't think... There's nothing against Paris. I'm usually kind of a... Well, I mean, I don't enjoy cities as much as I enjoy kind of ruins and kind of just the landscape out in the country. You know, south of France and southern Italy, or even northern Italy. But the first time I went to Paris, I didn't realize how much I really loved the city. So, like, I could live in Paris for like 3 or 4 months out of the year. It's one of the few cities that I say that about. I can see why people go there and get inspired as far as creatively, and the artists and writers. It's a very... kind of sucks you in when you're there. Creatively, at least. For me, that's what happened. Yeah, so on your question about fade in the NQ, well, I don't know what you mean by fade, because fade would be going long. So it looked like a fade for the NQ makes sense here. I feel that the short has been... Okay, yeah, so the short has been exhausted. Yeah, I think that's the way to kind of read the chart right now, is that the trade that exists based on the price action is, I'd say... Well, number one, you trade momentum and bias until otherwise noted, or until you're proven wrong. So you should still be trading bias and momentum. But oftentimes, you know, like this changeover here that we're seeing, this has been a very orderly day. What I mean by orderly is that the sell-offs have been very orderly. The rise is up. While it doesn't feel like it, maybe it's been very orderly. There hasn't been like major downside impulses. There's been one or two, but they've been very orderly as far as like every kind of step down, there's some level of buyers. I don't know if it's stop losses. We don't know what it is. You know, we don't make that assessment. We don't care. What we care about is, can we trade the system reliably? That's what we care. So I would agree with you that the sell side, the short side seems like it's a little exhausted, which, you know, we're getting an early signal on chart 4, or not chart 4, chart 2, you know, and I'll probably go long here. Try to go long on 3 lots.
Order filled.
And then we'll see if that works out. It's kind of a bad location. It's only bad if you put your stop losses too close. Meaning your stop losses need to be below the momentum. Maybe you have to plan to scale in one more 3 lots down below. We're in the GC trade. We're in 3. You know, that trade, it's still trying to work itself out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some trailing stops a little bit above, give a risk losing on that trade. Even though we're in profit now, I'll risk losing with the expectation that it's going to fail at one of the key reaction zones here. So that's GC. So that GC trade, where's that at? Right here. So, okay, move down. We got a momentum check right around 2006, which we expect some reaction there. So we've got an RSI signal that fired on the last candle. Let's see if our triangle exists. Where is our other green? Yeah, well, we don't have another green one for a while. This would be a competing pattern. Yeah, this is a pretty long pattern actually. So we got a red, green, red. So usually when it's aligning like that far between signals, usually it is a continuation typically, especially when it's around a reaction area like this. So, but that's a little bit farther than you typically want to see those RSI signals, but it's just, the RSI signal is just an initial confirmation. I'm not typically making trade decisions on it. It's more of what it is it's more of, okay, this is confirming the directional bias, or actually we do see this here. We're getting maybe an early signal on the long side there. So we see the green, red, green. So that's not too concerning though, just because it's in between. Where's this chart, this 5-minute chart? You're between bias and you're between momentum. So one of those is going to win. Bias or momentum is going to win. And then what we're going to do is we want to actually add to this position up here. Call the bluff that it actually is going to take out the high and actually rip up. The challenge is that we're playing around with what would be on the, really this is the better entry if we get picked up there. We're messing around with chart 4. But that entry here aligns with the 60 momentum check. So these 3 additional lots align with that. Crude oil is about to hit the RDA, so we'll trade that on an overshoot. So that's about to hit the RDA, plus it's right at a momentum check. Let's go to this other chart so I actually can see it.
Stop filled.
What do we get stopped out on? Oh, got stopped out on the NQ. CL right there is where we want to enter. 81 spot 12. I don't know why.
Order filled.
It to take me out. So yeah, we're fade long. It's fade on every chart. So this really isn't the best trade, but it's probably the trade that exists given how the market's going. Straight up chart 2. So we're straight up trading chart 2. And then we're trading with the expectation that probably the NQ wants to go up and test at least 11 or 13,138. So 138, or maybe as high as, if it gets really going, it wants to go up to 148. So that would be what we're trading there. Okay, I don't know why I did that. I need to readjust some things later on today so I can see things a little bit better. Well, GC is disappointing us. 50% of the OR, so we'll see if that holds or it continues to move. All right. The few times I've got pretty heavy or I've got aggressive, I haven't been hurt, but I just had to trade myself properly out of trades. So, it definitely is. What is going to be interesting is the grade for the day will be like a B at least, but where it falters is obviously it doesn't properly represent how to trade the day, which is trading the day according to the system, using the predictive nature of the system. So I want to be clear, just so everybody understands, like why today would be more of a difficult day, or why it is more of a difficult day, is that on most days, or some days, I'd say 70% of the days, like maybe 60 or so, you can chase trades here and there, meaning that you can be a little late to the trade and then you can chase them. So your entries don't need to be like precise, like in the predictive nature of the system. But today, with the price action, the way that it's been, where it's kind of been in these not weird ranges, it's been in these ranges a lot. And then basically the sell-off or the rises, they're not impulses. They're basically green candle, green candle, green candle, 3 red candles. Green candle, green candle, green candle, 1, 2 red candles. Or then if there's a sell-off, it'll just really sell off, but then it'll hit a point and then it'll go through a range for about 15 minutes. So that's and on the upside and downside. So it'll go up, hit a range for 15 minutes. Go down, hit a range for 15 minutes. Hit an area, go hit a range for 15 minutes. Well, it's still, if you look over the day, it's still following the system. As in, momentum and bias has not been broken yet today. If you look at chart 4, if I just share chart 4 in Discord, look, it's kind of broke. It's in a changeover state, but like bias hasn't broken. Bias has held on chart 4. So I'll share this in the futures trading. So bias has held on chart 4. It's just that where did you have to sell? You had to sell at the RDA. Also, you had to sell at the momentum indicators. So it's not outside of the realm of the system. It's just that if you didn't sell there, or you didn't buy at the particular areas, and you waited for more confirmation instead of just like the first confirmation, well, what ended up happening is basically you ended up missing, or the trade was like 70% over. So then you either had to take profit quickly or trade yourself out of that trade, because the room for the trade stopped, or the trade stopped, well short of what we would expect a lot of times. So for instance, if you look at chart 4, we have a level at, and I shared that, it's shared. So you see that level there at 081, 082 on the NQ. So, we would expect that level to be tested. That's one thing we would expect. But that level wasn't tested. A new weak level was created above it. And where's that new weak level? Well, that new weak level is right around 095, 094. So there's a new weak level, didn't tap the strong level down below. So that's just a prime example of okay, your best trade was to wait for that strong level test. Once the weak level was developed on chart 4, well, then you got something to trade against. But also, if you look at that range on chart 2, it's just messy. It's just like an ugly, ugly range. So that's just a question of like how. That's why you have to rely on the predictive nature of the system. You can't really be. Some days you can get away with basically chasing a trade. Hopefully I'm clear. I want to be very clear so you just understand why today. For some people, they're trading well. So I'm trading okay. I mean, I'm a little unhappy with my P&L at 5,100. But I'm also focusing on not over trading. Also focusing on, if you were here in the morning, I did 3 trades that were fades that I got a little aggressive on and I had to trade myself out of. So I'm just being very mindful of that. Very cautious. So I'm not trading my normal, hey, I see it aggressive style, because I don't see it. There are trades here that I really haven't seen. Or I was late to the trade because I didn't enter exactly where I should have. But this trade here is working out, at least so far. We're up about a grand. Hopefully that actually did start moving, so it did start decently moving. Hopefully, the GC trade, not hopefully. I'm looking for the GC trade to sell off, otherwise we'll take a loss on that thing. Almost should enter here, but my next entry was right above if it got there. So we're up about $1,200 on this NQ trade. So you were right. Self-adapt, as far as, reading the chart there. I think I agreed with you partially, just because, with the levels and what we were seeing, just was kind of obvious. I think our next area, a 145, is kind of our next area. So how do I? Is there a way I can reply to a message? I don't know. I think it's self-adapt. I don't know. Well, we're getting another opportunity maybe to get out of GC, but what I'm going to do on GC actually is we're going to divvy up that. So on GC, what we'll do on that position is we're going to put our trailing stops 2 each. We'll get rid of this position. It's either going to sell off here or not. Kind of hit a key level. So it's either going to sell off here or not. And then we'll put our trailing stops up above. Right there. And then right there. And then right there. Give it a little bit of room. That's mean we'll take, if we do get taken out of those, we'll probably take a loss about $1,500. So, but need to give it a little bit of room. I consider it a minor win that I actually haven't overtraded today. So I'm actually I guess I'm satisfied with my trading today. I wish it would have been more P&L, but I'm just focusing on, kind of got off the rails a little bit, trading against the system for a bit. But as far as this, once that's a VWAP, it's probably going for the VWAP, obviously. We'll get out at that level at 146. And then, I almost should just exit out of this GC trade just because it's really not working in our favor. But I'll give it plenty of room. No reason to watch it. Damn it. This video's too big. All right, so I need to find a place to upload the Q&A. So stupid. I guess I could use that. Yeah, I could use that service. I could break this video up in 2. Oh, we didn't get picked up on. NG trade, it doesn't exist. CL trade really in the middle of range. Before we saw that trade, we got one lot here to alert us that, hey, it's time to scale in. Then we got the NQ moving up. Yeah, so I'm gonna we'll have to render this down to two videos. Just to make it easy. Then we'll have to create a new section of the site, I think. Yeah. Which we'll call it. It'll be part of the Barks. Yeah, GC trades still annoy me. Still open, sitting there doing nothing. Not selling off. I'm getting out.
Order filled.
I got out of it. Just because, look, it's holding the 50% OR, holding the RDA. It's probably going to sell off now that I got out of it, but, you know, trade didn't work out. So we'll do Barks answering trader questions. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. GC sold off. Yeah. Just not patient. Son of a bitch. Little bastard. Knew it was going to do that to me. Yeah, look at that. Would have been in profit there. Not profit, I would have broke even. Well, you little bastard. Yeah, see, if I would have just kept my stop losses where they were at, I would have already been in a break-even state. That's the market telling me that, hey, dude, you need to like trade your plan and stick with it, or don't second guess your plan just because you're annoyed that, well, actually, we'll see, that you're annoyed that the trade isn't working out in your favor. What did you call this? What did you call our stream last night? Unknown Desire. I have no idea what that means. But we're just going to name this page. And then we'll put it underneath the Barks. Bark, mother. Bark. Okay. Anybody have any trade ideas? Look at that. GC would have been profitable. Damn it, Jim. You know, what I should have done is I should have done one more check. That's what I should have done. One more gut check. That one more gut check probably wouldn't have told me much other than the same thing that I traded the trade on. Thing I didn't wait for there on that GC trade, one of the reasons why I'm out of that trade is because I didn't wait for confirmation that the fast momentum was going to fail on chart 3. So, and then the room between the fast momentum and slow momentum all the way up to 2016 just is more than I wanted to scale in. So, I looked at that and said, well, I would have had to scale in. If it's going to move, if it's going to hold this OR 50, I'd have to be prepared to scale in all the way up to 212 to at least 213. And it's too far to scale in for that trade. So that's why I got out. I mean, that was one of the reasons why I got out. No idea what this means. Unknown desire, but that's what we're going to name it. 2023 04 16. Yeah, would have been in profit in that GC trade. You little bastard. I'm still upset about the whole situation. Can't let it go. Like literally after I got out, about 2 minutes after that, or like a minute after that, I decided to then move, which is the way it works in the market, isn't it? That's just the way it works. You get impatient with a trade, and then the trade, like, it waits just for that perfect time for you to get out, just to get frustrated enough. Yeah. So ES, I don't know, I'm with you there on the ES. Well, I mean, pretty much everything. Yeah, I mean, it's another inside day. I mean, if we look at the charts, isn't it? I haven't looked. Yeah, okay. Every single time I do something on TradingView, you gotta notify me of every little thing. Thanks, TradingView. I really enjoy you notifying me of every little damn thing you do. All right. Yeah, it's an inside day. So, we're in the middle of this range. It's just, the positive from a momentum perspective is that the momentum has held up so far. So that's the positive. But, so the red and green line on this current chart, yeah, these little dots are the highs and the lows for the week. And then, if we go to the 5-minute, so that's an indicator that I have here. It's called RD key levels. What the RD key levels plot, so you'll see it here on this chart over here. The red or green is the daily open. This teal line is a previous day VWAP close. And then the orange and white, which I don't see here for some odd reason, is the weekly open. And then these triangles at the top, this tells me that, hey, we're below the weekly open. So the weekly open and the daily open are the same today, obviously. So right here, so that's where it's going today. The index, obviously the NQ too, but that's what those are. Yeah, so I can share that indicator too. But if you go to my profile, you'll see it. It's one of the last indicators I released. Okay, yeah, thanks TradingView for telling me that you're disconnected every 5 minutes. I appreciate it. I really do. Friggin' every single one of them. So, okay. So here it is, RD key levels, weekly, daily, previous VWAP. Free indicator. And then here I share philosophy of how to use it if you don't know, which is pretty simple. Trading reaction areas. Give plenty of examples. So, just like our trade system, you know, we trade reactions. It's relatively slow today. Like you said, we're up about 1,600. Look at that. Gold futures trade would have been in profit. I do apologize. I'm flabbergasted that I didn't have the patience to stay with it. When I said, hey, I'm going to put my trail stops and we're just going to see what happens. Like, I'm just reminding myself not to intervene in my own trading. Don't doubt your plan. Or if I doubted my plan, here's the thing. This is why I'm stuck on it. If I doubted my plan, then I should have got out right away, because nothing changed from the time that I set those trailing stops and I decided, oh, screw it, I'm just going to get out. I just got sick of seeing the red. That's all. So, that's not a good enough reason to, ignore my plan and not trade the plan just because I got sick of seeing the red. It's kind of a stupid reason to get out of a trade. But we're all a work in progress. It's still an asinine reason to get out of the trade. Oh yeah, that indicator, it's key levels. It's you shouldn't. Every trader, I don't care what system you trade, like, you should know at a minimum the daily open and at a minimum the weekly open. Those are magnets for the market. So I don't care what system you trade. If you ignore those, you're ignoring one of the major information that the market has provided. And then the previous day VWAP, well, there's two specific trades that are like 85% trades with that previous VWAP that we trade in our system. Like, every time it comes up, so it doesn't come up, it comes up maybe once or twice a day, maybe on the previous VWAP. And that elbow trade that we trade is one of the most reliable trades that we have in our system. The elbow trade. Yeah, and I'm glad that well, I'm not going to say that anymore. I'm glad that indicator is still there, put it that way. I don't know. There are times when... So what color do we want to do here? We'll do cider bomb. Oh, that's kind of nice. I've never seen some of these colors. Yeah, actually, that's kind of ball. Oh, we'll do some gold. Oh, hell yeah. I kind of like that color. All right, cool. I think we need another Rex up in here. Yeah, we need another Rex. All right, little buddy. We're going to put you up in here. Which picture do we want you? What emotion do we want you to have? We'll do two-tooth Rex. Yeah, we'll do two-tooth Rex. And I think we need to put you over here to the side. You okay, Chloe? You doing all right? Well, that trade's working out good in our favor. GC trade would have worked well in our favor. We're up about 2,300 on that trade, and then this trade's invalid now. And what time is it? 2 o'clock. We're going to the last hour of the market. So there might be some trades that exist. You might have to move quick on some of these. It looks like it's going to take out the OR, doesn't it? So on a normal day, or not a non-stream day, I wouldn't feel this kind of like, I don't feel burnt out. It's more of, when I stream, I just pay attention to the charts more. So, you might get this impression that you need to sit here and watch these charts. You don't. I mean, how long have I been in this trade? I've been in this trade since, well, let's just say we started this trade at 13:35 and it's 5 after or so. So I've been in this trade roughly 30 minutes. So there's no reason for me to have to watch the chart. My stop losses were there. They're trailing. I could maybe adjust them a little bit down if I want to try to stay in this trade a little bit for it to actually come out and take out the upper level. Take out the opening range high, which is right around 172. So if I want to give it a little bit more room in case it gets volatile here, I could probably do that if I really wanted to. I guess I could do that. I'll do that with one of these positions. Just moved it. So I basically just got it straddling the momentum indicators on chart 2. Other than that, I don't need to do anything more. There's nothing more to do. I literally don't have to do anything more. I mean, I was in the trade in GC that actually, there's another opportunity here at 2007 to go long. So potentially that's the GC trade that's on the table, but it's so late in the day, I don't really want to get involved in another trade that I don't really have high conviction in, because we're also fighting with chart 3 on this GC trade. This might be an overnight trade, so it might be something we'll watch in the overnight. NQ's in this, or NG's in this range here that just is, got one trade and then another trade opportunity that I didn't take on the RDA test. Other than that, it's just in this range. And then, I could pull up the ES. It'd be the same thing. Let's do that. Let's just pull up the ES. It wouldn't matter. I can just guarantee that the ES is in a similar type of situation. Yeah, thanks, TradingView, for telling me that you disconnected. I appreciate it. ES. Boom. Well, ES did move. So, but it doesn't, that's why, people ask, well, why do you trade the NQ instead of the ES? It doesn't matter. Look at this move here. Green candle, green candle, green candle, impulse move up to test the extreme of the VWAP and a level. Okay. Weekly opens up here. Okay. That's where it's trying to go. It's trying to go to the weekly open up here at 4174. Let's go to the NQ. Same damn pattern. It doesn't matter. Green candle, green candle, green candle, green candle, green candle. Weekly opens up here. It's at the VWAP. Just recaptured the VWAP. Like, it doesn't matter which one you trade. Now, I'm not saying that's all the time, but the correlation is so tight that oftentimes, look, it's about deployment of capital. Like, if you have 10 grand to deploy, I don't care how much you have, and you deploy your capital 5,000 in ES and 5,000 in NQ, and that moves in the same direction, almost the same percentage, you're not diversifying your risk. You're deploying your capital in the same direction. So, if you're going to trade different things, do what I do. Try to trade 4 or 2 different non-correlating assets. Generally, gold isn't going to move in conjunction with NQ. Generally, crude, CL, is not going to move in the same conjunction as NQ. And generally, when you add NatGas or something else, I changed this up. So I moved from other things besides NatGas, but like these three things, if like number one, you need to master one. So if you haven't mastered trading one, don't even think about trading two. It's hard enough to trade one. Master trading one. And then, okay, add another one. What would I say you add? I would suggest you add CL. There's a micro CL, which is, what is the micro CL? It's not CL. It's, don't remember what it is. Whatever it is. You'll find it. Let's find it for you. What is this? What is the micro CL? Is it MC? That's not MCL. I don't remember what it is. I haven't traded it for so long. I don't remember. Oil. Micro. Oh, it'd be the mini, right? Wouldn't it be the mini? It's crude. I don't know. I can look it up. I'm drawing a blank. I apologize. I should know. But, yeah, they're micro gold. Yeah, it's MGC. So micro gold filters is MGC. So I have that listed here. I have MGC. So this is the micro gold filters. Or gold futures, sorry. Micro gold futures. So just like ES has MES, CL, I can't think what it is right now. Well, what's QM? Oh, there it is. Duh. It's QM is the E-mini, right? E-mini light crude oil oils. Yeah, NYMEX. Yeah, this is NYMEX too. Yeah. Okay. So it's QM is the mini oil. No. No. We don't use Renko yet. So question on TradingView, do you use Renko to identify a trend? No, but we don't use the word trend either. So I hate the word trend. It's one of the worst trading terms ever developed. One of the reasons for that is the stupid term, the trend is your friend. You have no friends in trading. Everybody's trying to rob you. If you want a good idea of what it's like trading, basically you just entered a house and everybody's trying to steal all your money. So that's basically, so anything that correlates with the trend is your friend and all this other crap. We trade momentum. We trade momentum and bias. And why do we not use the word trend? Because trend has certain connotations about a long-lasting nature of a move. And I want you to focus on momentum. Because momentum, no one says the trend changed 3 times today. I mean, people might say that, but they don't generally say that. The trend changed 3 times today. Well, momentum changed twice today. Not the trend, momentum. I want you to trade momentum because I want you to capture that momentum. So for me to start talking in trends is completely contrary to actually how the market actually works. And how, the market moves in trends, but start using momentum and you'll be much more successful because the market moves and momentum moves. Some of those momentum moves are larger trends. I will grant the trend word underneath that paradigm. Other than that, if you want to actually trade well, you want to trade effectively, so I will share why you see wrinkles on the chart. So that was good to spot them. But why, when like I said, use momentum, use bias and momentum. So why do you see wrinkle charts on one of my charts? So, in the Rexdog trade system, one of the best trade systems ever developed, we trade what's called the 4-chart setup. And the 4-chart setup's a combination of time and tick charts. It's a superpower in trading. Now, one of the challenges is that TradingView, in its infinite wisdom, doesn't want to add tick charts because they care about the lowest common denominator of a trader. They don't actually build a tool for actual traders. They just build a tool for social butterfly traders. It's still one of the best platforms out there. I know I rail against it all the time, but don't you actually rail against the things you love? Like, at the end of the day, if you love something, you want it to improve, I guess. I don't know if that's the proper way to say it, but if you love something, you're going to care about it, and you're going to care about it enough to actually maybe improve it. I don't love, I guess I love TradingView. TradingView, I love you. So, like, I want them to improve. I want them to be a badass platform. A badass platform would have tick charts. It's not that hard. The data exists. I can tell them how to get the data if they want to know how to get the data. I can help them if they want to help. Actually, they gave me access to the code base. I could probably add tick charts within a weekend. And I'm not the best coder on the planet. So, but I'd hire coders. So I've sent that to TradingView directly. I've sent them emails and I've sent them tweets. I said, hey, look, I'll hire my own coders. Give me access to the code base. You can check the repo. You can check the submits. I'll hire my own coders for a weekend and we'll add tick charts. Like, I'll pay for it. I've sent that email. So I know I'm a little off the rails, a little, but I want tick charts there. Okay. They haven't had tick charts. It's been years. So we can't operate on TradingView, or we can't operate in platforms that we need to take time out of the factor in our trading. You need to, if there's one thing you hear me and you're trying to develop a trade system, or your trade system isn't working, one of the reasons why it's not working is probably because it's all time-based. Meaning every chart you look at and every indicator you focus on has inherently a coupling to time. We are time beings. Wait till I get to the mindset of this. Like, that's where I'm going to probably go off the rails for a lot of you. But we are time beings. So we have a terrible, terrible, terrible ability to properly assess time in high stress situations. Now, would you agree that trading is probably a high stress situation? Not as high stress as being shot at. Obviously, that's a little bit more high stress, but short of being shot at or getting in a car wreck or doing some kind of extreme sport, trading affects you psychologically, mentally, and physiologically when you're trading. I'm sure you've entered a trade, and if you're not used to it, I mean, I even know when my nephew first started trading that first day, that people were sweating on some of the trades he was doing. Yeah, so trading's high stress, right? Okay. In high stress environments, you will see studies, the human mind has an inability to properly assess time. So you can't change that. Now, you can get better at it, right? You can get better at it. But instead of trying to get better at it, maybe what you should think about is, okay, that's a limitation that I have as a big sack of meat, right? You're a big sack of meat. What are we, 70% water or whatever? You're a big sack of meat with some water, right? Instead of trying to drastically change years and eons of evolution, maybe you should find a way to work with evolution. One of the ways to work with evolution is you need to take time out as a factor in your trading. So if you trade the Rec stock system, you benefit from someone that's fanatical about researching how the human mind works, how autotomic reactions are. If you don't know what autotomic reactions are, like you're benefiting from someone that's done deep study of NLP. You're benefiting from someone that's read book after book about human mind, the body, has cancer himself. So basically took a sabbatical for about 3 to 4 months and basically learned everything he could about cancer and nutrition, right? So you're kind of benefiting from that aspect. And to me, one of the biggest problems people have is that they don't understand the human condition well enough. We're still in this trade, so I apologize for not showing the trades. We're still in the trade. We probably should do this GC trade. We probably should go long here, but it's so late in the session. So one of the challenges, what I would suggest, in my humble opinion, is that instead of trying to fight eons of evolution, why don't you find a way to work in communion with it, work in sync with it? One of the ways to do that is because during high stress situations, human beings have a proclivity to not properly track time or to get into time states that are hard to manage. So one of the ways that you solve that is that, how do I take time out as a factor? If you're trading my system, the Rex Dog system, you're benefiting from the fact that two of the charts take time out as a factor and give you additional market information to make better trade decisions. And I mean, there are a host of reasons once you understand the power of what I've just said. So what am I doing on TradingView? Well, since TradingView has failed to add tick charts, and I know there's a couple of tick indicators, they're not real. They're not real tick. What we're going to do is we're going to create a 4-chart setup based on TradingView. And right now, Renko Charts is the one that's partially winning. Here's the problem. Renko Charts don't really actively tell what's happening within a time chart. So, for some of you out there, especially the more adept at you, especially the ones that actually don't even want to actually get into the system, but actually say, hey, this dude has something here. Put it this way. If you're an experienced trader and you're not trading an element of what I'm trading, let me not say experienced. If you're a profitable trader and this is the first time you've kind of heard kind of this concept, your ears have peaked up. I know it because every trader I've sat down with that doesn't trade this style, that is profitable, that has edge, true edge, they come back to me and say, dude, I don't know how I missed this. I get that when I do connect with true traders with edge. So the challenge with the Renko chart is that it doesn't tell you what's happening within a time chart. The power of our tick charts is that it generally tells you what's happening within a time chart, meaning that our chart 2 tells you what's happening within chart 1. Our chart 4 tells us what's happening within chart 3, meaning what's actually the real capital that's being deployed. See, on tick charts, capital can't hide. On time charts, capital can hide. Because you'd have to do volume analysis. And even then, the volume analysis is comparative. The volume analysis isn't actual. Well, that's not the right way I want to say that. The volume analysis is a comparative because just because there's for instance, look at this big volume spike here. Well, we have a moving average on that, like right here at 1320, 1325. But, okay, and you could factor that in. I don't use volume at all. You never hear me use volume because it's a pointless metric in our trade system. We don't need it. Plus, we use a volume indicator already called the VWAP. So we don't even need to do any volume analysis. I shouldn't even have this on the chart. I don't even need it. It's irrelevant, except for 2 cases, stopping volume and exhaustion volume. That's the only 2 times. So what I'm trying to figure out, or what I'm doing, is I'm actively putting Renko. I'm going through the various other non-time based charts. So for instance, our option is Renko. What are our options on Renko? Line break, Kagi, point and figure, and range. Range might be possible, but range still has its own challenges. The range still has its own challenges. But the range, if it was painting a little bit differently, it might be possible. But part of it is that it screws up all the indicators. So range is probably out. Hekinashi, or however you say that, is still a time-based. But the way it's calculated is a little bit differently. So one of our charts might actually be Heikin-Ashi or Heikin-Ashi, however you say it, possibly. The problem with this Heikin-Ashi chart is that because of the way it's calculated, you're never getting the best entry. If you want to use the word trend, generally, if a trend develops, like it'll be clearer, because if you look at this sell-off here, there's some green candles in here. You can almost guarantee it. There's probably 1 or 2 green candles in this sell-off, in this E-mini light crude. But then using the HA candles, it's just straight up momentum. Now, that's kind of helpful, but at the same time, if you actually try to get filled on some of these candles, meaning that if you try to do an entry or use these candle levels, the way they're calculated, you're not getting the best fills, meaning that the data that it's providing for you to actually get filled at that level, or you making the decision based on these candles to get filled at this level, isn't congruent with what a non-time based chart that we need is. You're getting some additional information, but you're not getting any additional information. So I know no one asked for this explanation. So I know I just started going down this path. But yeah, see, we probably should have went long there in the gold futures. Momentum check. See that right there? Perfect momentum check. Should have went long there. But now we're going to take some off on this because we had a stall area here on
Order filled.
the Nasdaq. So we'll just take one off. We're still up $2,200. So that actually helped our P&L today. You know, we're up to 5,600, and if we were to cash out now, we would be up around 8,800 or so, which is not a bad P&L for the day. I'm still not totally satisfied with it, but you know, it's still a green P&L. Can't complain. So I guess I'll do a check. Does anybody want me to continue down the path of what I was talking about on the wrinkle stuff? So, or I can answer other questions, and we'll probably call the stream here in a couple minutes once kind of like it ranges out. But if you want me to continue, I will. If not, we'll just trade out the rest of the day. You know, we are kind of an interesting range with the NQ if we look at that. Yeah, recapture the day and weekly open index. It's probably going up to this next level, which is 8085, or if not more, 093. So yeah, so I'll just end just to clear the thought. So let's go to BTC, Bitcoin. So let's do this. Let's do 5-minute candles over here. So we have 5-minute candles here, and then we have 5-minute candles here. So actually, this sell-off, there is all red candles. Yeah, so the only other baseline isn't an option. Columns isn't an option. Hollow candles means nothing. High and low, possibly, but that's still not. It's still time-based. You know, the high and low, all it does is just basically draw candles based on the high and low. That's all it does, which is kind of an interesting, you know, I'm glad they added this. This is something I wanted. Yeah, you know, you're right, Captain E. You know, the slow grind on. So, oh no. So for those that are wondering, well, for those that don't know, there's a philosophy section of the training where I go in detail of the philosophy of why each chart is in the 4-chart setup. And I'll do the same thing on this chart. We'll dive into if we choose Renko charts. See, the problem is the line break chart is a little too hard to read as far as comparatively of. It's not hard to read. It's more the challenge with all of these charts, all these other charts, is they don't provide you additional edge comparatively to a tick chart. That's just the biggest challenge. I mean, you don't probably know how to read this, but it's pretty obvious, based on how these are painting. But if we just take, for instance, I don't know, the line break chart, okay? Well, the line break chart tells us that there's a level on the 5 minute right here. There's a level right here. And it coincides with, what's just as amazing to me anyways? I know there's a lot of lines on this chart, and this is going to amaze people that don't know the system. The indicators we use work just as well on any chart that you plot as they do on normal time charts. So normal candlestick charts, the indicators still work the same. Like they track momentum, they track bias. It's just, sometimes there's a little bit more overshoots. But here, look at this. Comes down, does an RDA check, bounces, comes down, does another RDA check, bounces. Yeah, there's overshoots, but that's what we expect. Eventually loses it, comes back, rechecks, momentum, sells off. Rechecks momentum, sells off. So it's just like, I'm still in awe sometimes that the system works as well as it does, and I created it. So, like the second that I don't feel awe for the system is the second that I probably should be concerned. So what I'm testing is I'm testing the standard Renko right now, ATR 14. What I think we'll probably figure out some kind of derivative of this. But because you have to look at this, okay, what's the Renko level here? This is the way to look at it. Here's the Renko level, right? And then here's the Renko level here. Okay. So, and I know this is hard to see because of my charts. This is like the charts with all my lines on it. So, we got a level down here, right in here on the 5 minute chart. And then we've got a level up here, which is right around 30 something, which is way up here. Okay. So for swing trades, this might be viable because those are big levels. But what the Renko chart is telling you is that this is a major level comparatively to how the Renko chart, how the Renko bars are painted. And it's telling you that this is just standard support and resistance. It's a major resistance level. You can use the downside here and say this is here as well, 30,096. But the better level to use is up here, 30,532. Is that 532? Yeah, 532. Well, what's that move? This might be good for swing moves, but this value set, for instance, it's 3%, 22 hours. That's a swing trade right there. It's not a day trade. It could be a day trade, but really that's a swing trade. So the level-to-level edge that these Renko charts provide, we'll just go from this level to this level. 9 hours. Okay. So, when you're looking at adding something to your trade system, you want to understand, like, from just simplistic means, like here, this is 7 hours from this level to this level, 7 hours. You want to understand what edge and what role does it play into your edge, and then what's the typical timeline, especially when you get away from time-based charts. When you get away from time-based charts, the way you need to analyze them is, okay, on this chart, what is the perspective, or what's the perspective time that this chart represents well? Remember, we're still taking time out, but basically we saw one at 9 hours, one at 22 hours. Those are swing trades. Those aren't intraday day trades or intraday day trades, however we frame it or however we say it. Those are swing trades. It could be swing trades over a day, but those are swing trades. So the way that the Renko chart currently is painting at an ATR with a 55 deviation, or I don't know if it's deviation or whatever you call it. It's and we could go through this, and we're going to get the similar type results. The best probability trades that exist using these bars are swing trades in this current format. So I've kind of got to the point now where I know I have to now start messing with values if we're going to use Renko charts. Meaning, okay, I've just got to iterate through the values until we find the ones that work. I have a process that I follow to do this. So, this is the thing. You guys, like anybody that's in the system or have, become a member or an alpha, like you're benefiting from a dude that's fanatical about figuring this shit out, knowing that he never is going to be able to. Like, I'll get off here today and I'll write for about an hour in my novel. So I'll write today about an hour in my novel, and then I'll come back, and then I'll start working on training, and I'll start working on this. And then I'll take a little break, hang out with people that, coming in and out of the house, chill a little bit. And then I'll probably write for a little bit while they're watching Netflix and doing homework, right? And then I'll go back and I'll look at some trading stuff. I don't have to do anything. But I do it because it's my passion. And I have a deeper why, but so I don't know. All right. Well, I think we're going to just close out the day, and I'm just going to stay in this trade until it takes me out. As Axel Rose says, Paradise City. So it's either going to take us out at the opening range high, which it still's got, what time is it? Still a half hour, or, so right now, P&L wise, we're up about 5,600, open profit around 2,600. So, maybe we'll end the day at around 10 grand if we're fortunate. Yeah, well, you should share that. You should share that. Oh, it's around 1 a.m. No, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Yeah, so for sure. Typically at the end of the markets, like if I'm still streaming, I like to at least try to share some of my knowledge or my perspective on the market, so that you're just not sitting watching some dude trade. Like, hopefully you can maybe benefit of some of my fanaticism around the market, around trading. Yeah, so I'm just going to sit on this trade and we'll just let it, well, when it gets to 3 o'clock, we'll take out, but there's no or I want to start doing things early. So everybody, thanks for joining me. If you haven't joined Discord, you want to join Discord, down below. Also, if you're ready to get started, just send me a DM on Discord. When you join Discord, just be careful. There's one account for sure that will contact you. I won't DM you directly. If I do, I will prove to you that it's me first, meaning that I will, in general, say, hey, what's up to you? And then if I DM you, I'll say, hey, I just said what's up in general. Other than that, if you just join the server and someone says, hey, I got this new crypto trading strategy I haven't shared with anybody else, you'll love it. Just block the dude. It's a Rex Dog Actual 7885, whatever the number is. It's not me. So you can always ask me in general on Discord. You can say, hey, say what's up to me, prove it's you, and I'll prove it's me. Same with Nephew Elite. So if someone impersonating him, ask one of us to say, hey, what's up in general, and then we'll say what's up. And then, because the accounts that friend you after you join the server, they're not on our server. They have people that are watching the server. And then they basically note people that join, and then they basically friend them outside of our reach and then start communicating. So, not much we can do there other than just warn people. And usually if it feels suspect, it's suspect. So I would just kind of focus on that. Other than that, if you're ready to get started, go to the website, read about the trade system, click ready to get started, or send me a DM on Discord or an email as well. I'd say today, if I were to grade my trading, I was probably like a B. P&L should have been a little bit better, but it's only a B just because I faded 3 times where I really should have just been trading momentum. But, we caught this move for the day, not at size, but we caught it at a decent number, a decent clip. I'm still working on my trading. So that's one thing. I'm still working on, meaning that I've got too far from, let's trade on inverted charts, is that I've got too far from, I've faded too much. My fades are about 40 or 50% probably. Like I said, the rules are 80-20. There's only 20% really great fades. Unless you're a super fader, unless you're like just an awesome fader, meaning if you prove to me that, or prove to yourself more that you're an awesome fade trader, then I would say, go for it. But if more times than not, you have to trade yourself out of fade trades, and you're not spot on your entries, you're better off just trading momentum and following the 80-20 rule of 80% are momentum trades, 20% are fades. So I look forward. I probably will be able to stream tomorrow. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if I'll do both sessions, but I'll do one at least. Got a lot of stuff I want to get done. I want to create this 4 chart setup for TradingView. We need to get rolling on the swing trading update to the training, a few other things. So awesome. I look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in, and everybody have a great rest of their day.